It is an honor and a necessity as well to engage this important conversation about the future of Nigeria. We find ourselves at crossroads where global volatility, domestic challenges, and regional instability shape the economic landscape in which we operate. Rather than view these as insurmountable challenges, we must see them as opportunities to reform, to restructure, and reclaim Nigeria's path towards sustainable development and economic resilience. The Nigerian economy is not isolated from global events. Geopolitical conflicts, from the war in Ukraine and Gaza to tensions between major world powers, have deeply affected global supply chains, energy prices, and financial stability. Domestically, we face compounded challenges, including security threats, inflationary pressures, policy inconsistency, and structural inefficiencies. These issues are not just abstract economic data points. They affect the lives of thousands of people. They affect the livelihood of every Nigerian, from the farmer in Sokoto to the entrepreneur in Lagos. So these are not issues that we just have the numbers. This reflects in the lives of people every day. The food they eat, their productivity, in their workplaces. All look at the key economic challenges, beginning with inflationary pressures. As of September 2024, Nigeria's inflation rate surged to 32.70%, according to the data from NBS, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, National Bureau of Statistics. That's reflecting a multi-faceted crisis driven by rising energy prices, supply chain disruptions, and structural deficiencies in key sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. The removal of subsidies and necessary fiscal reform has further accelerated inflation, pushing up transportation and food costs. The CBN's response, tightening monetary policy through interest rate hike, has done little to address these deep-rooted issues. Just for the records, I do not believe that increasing interest rates in an economy that is not credit-based is a good direction to follow. Increasing interest rates in countries that are credit-based, then that could work. But the Nigerian economy isn't that way, so I cannot really understand the reason why the interest rate increase will simply frustrate small businesses, is what we are seeing today. So again, I call on the CBN to review some of these hikes. I'm not sure how much is helping the economy. It could make sense, it makes sense in a credit-based economy, which Nigeria is not. The burden of inflation is disproportionately felt by most vulnerable segments of the society. Higher food prices mean less disposable income for households. And as we see prices soar, businesses struggle with rising operational costs, which stifles growth and increases unemployment. Nigerian companies are posting huge losses. And then we look at debt and fiscal policy. Nigeria's debt burden continues to grow, with public debt now estimated at $87 trillion, which is equivalent to around 13 billion US dollars. That's as of 2023 actually. The government has had to increase borrowing to finance critical infrastructure, fund social programs, and cover the deficit created by fortune oil projects. While these may be necessary investments, the rising debt to service ratio now consuming over 90% of government revenue limit the fiscal space for further investments in education, healthcare, and technology. Without a decisive shift in fiscal policy, Nigeria risks falling into a debt trap where servicing loans crowds out investment in sectors essential for long-term growth. Moreover, the country's current debt profile, both domestic and external, raises concerns about sustainability, especially as global interest rates rises. Then we look at policy inconsistencies and investment hesitancy. Businesses, both foreign and local, need predictability. However, policy inconsistency in Nigeria, especially in sectors like foreign exchange management and trade, has eroded investor confidence. Foreign direct investment inflow have dwindled, and many investors are adopting a wait-and-see approach due to the unpredictability of government officials. And I'm not sure I'm sounding so chairman of what is the American company that was here in Nigeria some time ago. It echoed the sentiment that until Nigeria can be consistent with their policies, it will be very difficult to attract and retain foreign investors. Because there must be some level of predictability.
Yeah.
Even though it is uncertainties at uncertain times, and there are changes happening faster than you can imagine, yet, at the same time, these policies inconsistency even worsen the situation. The oil and gas sector, which accounts for nearly 90% of our foreign exchange, continues to suffer from underinvestment and underperformance. Meanwhile, non-oil assets such as technology, manufacturing, and services, although growing, require robust policy frameworks to fully realize their potential. And again, we have security concerns. You cannot develop an economy where people don't feel safe. So economic development is inextricably linked to security. Persistent insecurity from insurgencies in the northeast to banditry in the northwest has hampered economic activity and growth. Agricultural sector that employs over 70% of Nigerian workforce has been particularly affected. Farmers are often unable to cultivate their lands, and trade routes are frequently disrupted, leading to food shortages and high prices. Moreover, the unrest also in the Niger Delta area threatens oil production and infrastructure. If Nigeria is to progress economically, it must first address these security concerns through targeted investments in military capabilities and community-driven peace initiatives. Now, why these challenges are significant? They are not insurmountable. I mean, countries have dealt with complex issues, and I give assurance you they will deal with this. What is required is a bold, consistent, and long-term vision that addresses the root causes of our economic vulnerabilities. So I propose the following key strategies to secure Nigeria's economic future. Number one, economic diversification. I'm sure most of you will agree because I'm clearly not the first person saying it. It's been said many times, and I'm having to say it again because it still has to be said again. Maybe this will be the last straw that will break the back of the camel, because right finally the presidency is listening and actions are going to be taken rapidly. We have a lot of faith in the presidency, the governments of President Tinubu to take decisive action on these recommendations, and I'm looking forward to seeing these things reflected in policies very, very shortly. I hope I'm saying the truth. Thank you. So the first one I said is economic diversification. The Nigerian economy must break its over-reliance on oil revenues. Agriculture, technology, and services are sectors with immense potential for driving economic expansion. However, for diversification to succeed, we need more than just policies. We need implementation. And we need execution. The full activation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement can serve as a powerful tool in expanding Nigeria's trade portfolio and deepening inter-African trade. We must invest in technological innovation, infrastructure, and skills development, especially for the youth, to position Nigeria as a key player in the global digital economy. Furthermore, agriculture, which employs millions of Nigerians, must be modernized through the use of data technology, better access to markets, and government incentives. The second one is fiscal discipline and debt management. Nigeria must adopt a more disciplined approach to fiscal management. Reducing our dependency on borrowing to finance recurring expenditure should be a priority. Instead, we must extract private sector investment through public-private partnerships that can drive infrastructural development without overburdening government coffers. And we already stated that attracting these investments isn't possible except we put certain things in order, in the first instance. Debt restructuring, improved tax collection, not necessarily increasing the tax, but improving tax collection, and curbing wasteful spending must be at the forefront of fiscal policy reforms. Additionally, subsidies should be better targeted to protect the most vulnerable, while ensuring that our limited resources are used more efficiently. Number 3 is enhancing security for economic growth. Security, as I did mention earlier, is the bedrock of development. Without it, no amount of economic reform can succeed. The government must continue to invest in security initiatives. These efforts must be both holistic and community-driven. Dialogue with affected communities, enhance military operations and economic empowerment in conflict zones are key to breaking the cycle of violence. There are situations that the bullets cannot deal with, no matter how many of the bullets you fire. Moreover, in the Niger Delta region, peace must be sustained to ensure continued oil production while diversification plans take effect. I'm happy about the panel on AI, and I think there's one on oil independence, and I'm not very sure. As countries continue to move away from fossil fuel, for example, and there are more people adopting electric cars, even if while we would like to continue to take advantage of our God-given resources, including oil, we must now realize that a time could come. Nigeria, see, there is a tomorrow, right? There is a 2050, there is a 2070, and we need to make decisions today that enables us to deal with issues of 2070 and 2070, and 2050 and 2050. We cannot continue to patch things up and hope that things will improve and get better. No nation will ever advance like that. There must be a clear plan that shows where Nigeria should be in the next 100 years, in the next 50 years. And there must be true commitment to doing what needs to be done for that plan to be realized. See, when I was a little boy, I had a song, Education for All, by the year 2000. I don't know if you might have had the same song too. I used to hear it on my father's radio. Well, education isn't here for all today. We do not blame the current government for that, but we call on the current government to take action because that is the government we see today. Finally, creating a stable policy environment. Nigeria needs a predictable and transparent policy environment. Investors need clarity on exchange rates, tax policies, and trade regulations. This requires a coordinated effort between fiscal and monetary authorities to align policies and build confidence in Nigeria's economic management. Consistent policies will attract foreign direct investments, enabling growth in key sectors such as energy, technology, and manufacturing. This consistency also extends to the sectors like education and healthcare, where investments can create a healthy and educated workforce capable of driving future growth. Here is my call to action, ladies and gentlemen. The road ahead of us is undoubtedly challenging, but with every challenge comes an opportunity for transformation. Nigeria has the potential to rise as a leader in Africa and on the global stage. But this requires bold, decisive decisions and actions. We must diversify our economy, manage debt wisely, ensure a stable policy environment, and above all, provide security for our citizens. While I know that it is in the habit of politicians, while in office, to begin planning on how to secure the office again, it is important that our office holders consider it a responsibility and necessity laid on their shoulders at this time to prioritize governance against running for office in this election and against winning. I believe, and I think everybody in this room will also agree with me, that if the government performs well, delivers results, the government will need little effort in campaigning, printing posters, and sponsoring ads on television. Let us seize this moment to work together, governments, private sectors, and civil society, towards a more prosperous and a secure future for Nigeria.